Hey everybody, welcome back to Garage Band Guitarist, and we have an exciting lesson today because we're going to learn some more songs. And these songs are ones that incorporate the new chords that we just learned, D minor, A, and E. And we're going to use some of our old chords that we already know, G, C, D, E minor, and A minor. But all of these songs are going to use some of those new chords as well. Mainly, it's going to be A and E that we're going to add in with some other chords. These songs are really going to focus a lot on A and E. There's not going to be so much with D minor right now, just because of the way chords are related to one another. D minor tends to be in a lot of songs that also have F and B flat in them. And we haven't learned F and B flat yet. And so we're going to learn them soon. And when we do, we'll come back and we'll add some songs that have more D minors in them because we'll have the F and the B flat under our belt at that point as well. So not too much on D minor. We're going to have one at the end, so you've got something. But mainly we're going after the A and the E and working on those with these songs, okay? Now again, when I'm picking out these songs, I'm trying to find a range of sort of difficulty, speed, and different styles, but ones that still are easy enough for you to play along with while you're at this early stage of learning, okay? And remember, when you listen to the song, there's going to be a lot more going on in the song in terms of the guitar playing than what you're going to play. And that's fine. Your role here is kind of a backup rhythm guitar player that's accompanying everything else that's going on. You're not supposed to be playing all that other stuff. Most of these songs have multiple guitars on them that are covering all these parts, and so you've got your role, and that's as the accompanying rhythm guitar player, okay? So don't worry about all that extra stuff you hear going on. You'll be able to play along with that just fine. As last time, in the description down here, you will find a link to a quote-unquote cheat sheet that gives all the chords. I'm going to flash them on the screen as I'm playing them, but after you go through this once, you'll want to have the paper in front of you instead. You don't need to come back to the video every time to see the chords. You just have the printout. It's a PDF, so you can just print it right out, and then you can, practice without, having to sit here with the video each time, okay? There's also a YouTube playlist in the description as well. Just click on that link and it'll go through the songs on YouTube in the same order that I went through them. So you don't have to worry about chasing those down. They're right there for you. You can go ahead and go to that playlist and find the songs very easily. And don't forget, final reminder, I guess, here, that in YouTube you can slow the video down. You can slow the song down so you can play it slower, more easily when you're learning it, okay? And then you can, eventually speed it back up. If you don't remember how to do the slow down, or you haven't done that yet, go back to lesson 3, the first set of songs that I did, and I show you how to slow down a YouTube video in that lesson, okay? All right, I think that's it for the preliminary material. Let's go ahead and get to our songs. We've got 8 songs here, and I'm going to start with the simplest one, which is Achy, Breaky Heart by Billy Ray Cyrus. And this song only uses A and E. So you're just going back and forth between A and E during the entire song. So it's a very simple chord progression, and it gives you a good chance to practice those 2 chords. You kind of stays on each one for a while too, so it works out nicely for you to practice these forms and work on getting back and forth between the A and the E, okay? Another thing I'll just say before you start playing is because you're being so repetitive with just A and E, A and E, and we've learned more than one way to play the A chord, you might want to kind of switch that up while you're playing. So sometimes use the 1, 2, 3, your 3 fingers to play the A. Sometimes use the 1 finger to cover all 3 of those strings at once. And so when you go back and forth, maybe a couple of times do use your middle finger, and then a couple times use the 1, 2, 3. And that way you can get used to both of those fingerings of the A. Okay? All right, here is Achy, Breaky Heart. And again, I'll just play enough of the song for you to get the idea, and then we'll move on to the next one. We don't need to go through the whole song. It just repeats, okay? Okay, here we go. That's all it does. Just for the rest of the song, keep going back and forth between A and E. Okay? All right. That's Achy Breaky Heart. Now I'm going to go into a bunch of songs next here that only use D, G, and A. Okay? So we've got two of our old chords, D and G, and we've got our new chord, A. With a lot of these songs, you might find out there, if you look around, people playing them with a different set of three chords, not D, G, and A. Okay, there's the same kind of relationship among the chords that they're playing as there are among D, G, and A. It's just that the whole thing is kind of higher or lower, you know, so they move them all up or they move them all down to fit their voice. So if you start hunting around and looking for chords, you'll see them with different chords than D, G, and A. But what I'm trying to do here is find songs that match the original recording. Okay, so I'm teaching you to play it in a way that matches the original recording, so you can play along with it, right? You can play these songs with lots of different chords, but I'm teaching you the one that matches the recording, so you can just pop it on and you can play right along with the song. Okay, all right. So the first one is in this group here with D, G, and A is Twist and Shout. Twist and Shout by the Beatles. And it's a very, very simple song. It's just D, G, A over and over and over again. There's only one little deviation on that, and that's when they do the part where they go, ah. That's an A. They just stay on A during the whole time while they're doing that. But the rest of the song, they're just going D, G, A. Okay? Even in the beginning, there's a little part that the guitar's playing that you probably don't want to play over top of that because it's just a little intro. But even underneath that, they're doing D, G, and A. All right? So here's Twist and Shout by the Beatles. Intro. That's it. You just keep repeating that over and over again. All right. It might get a little boring, but it's a great way to practice these chords. Okay. And you've got a song under your belt when you have it done. So that's great. All right. Next one is Authority Song by John Mellencamp. I think he was still calling himself John Cougar back when he recorded this song. But at any rate, this is also just D, G, and A, but it's got a kind of a little different feel to it. there's a spot in the middle, or well, it's the introduction, and then it happens again in the middle where he sits on a D for a little bit. So at the very beginning of the song, it's just D, and you don't have to play that. Again, it's just the kind of intro part. But then it happens in the middle. There's kind of a dropout section, and they're just sitting on a D during that. I don't know if I'll go that far, but just so you know, when you hit that and you hear it and it's different than the rest of the song, you'll know what's going on there, okay? But very straightforward D, G, A song. Here we go. All D, you're just sitting on a D. And then the song starts. Here we go. G, A, D, G, A. There you go. All right, there it is. So again, very simple song. That one moves along a little bit faster though, so it's a little bit more challenging for you to be incorporating those chord progressions. Any of these songs that's got an A and it's repetitive, you should think about, varying the version of the A that you're doing so that you get practice doing both versions of that, okay? All right, so that's our third song. Let's go on to the fourth one. This one is Bad Moon Rising by Creedence Clearwater Revival. And they've got a lot of songs actually that are pretty easy to play the rhythm guitar parts on. And so, if you're looking for other songs to play and you want to try to sound out and learn some by ear, look for some Creedence Clearwater Revival songs. They're pretty straightforward, most of them. And as we get a little bit further into the course and you learn a few more chord forms, you'll be able to play almost all of their catalog. It's pretty straightforward. So good stuff when you're learning Creedence Clearwater Revival. So let's go ahead and do Bad Moon Rising. Again, it's just D, G, and A again, but it's a slightly more complicated pattern this time. It's not just repeating D, G, A, D, G, A. There's a little more to it. So in the verse, we're going to go D, A, G, D, okay, that's the verse. And then when we get to the chorus part, and you'll repeat that, when we get to the chorus part, it's going to be G, D, A, G, D, okay? So not terribly complicated, but slightly more complicated than what we've been doing so far with those chords, okay? Chorus. G, D, A, G. There we go. The verse. A, G, D. All right, so that one just continues to repeat those patterns, the verse and the chorus patterns as you go through the rest of the song. All right. Let's do Bob Dylan, Blowing in the Wind, okay? This is another one that's using just D, G, and A again, just those three chords. But again, it's a different pattern, okay? And so the verse is kind of close to repeating, but not quite. You use D, G, D, G, D. And then the second time you use D, G, D, G, A, and then you use the first one again, D, G, D, G, D. That's the end of the verse. And then you go into the chorus, which is G, A, D, G, A, D. Okay? And then the verse and the chorus repeat for the rest of the song. Okay? Pretty straightforward song. Again, Bob Dylan's another one that's got a lot of pretty straightforward, simple chord progressions in his music. And if you like Bob Dylan, you can probably find quite a few things that you can play pretty easily with these beginning sets of guitar chords. Okay? Here goes Blowing in the Wind. D, G, D, G, D. Chorus G, A, D, G, A. There you go. There's Blowing in the Wind, Bob Dylan. Okay. All right. The next one is Me and Bobby McGee by Janis Joplin. I'm going to play the Janis Joplin version. There's a Chris Christopherson version too. And they follow the same basic pattern, but they're actually playing different chord sets or playing in a different key. So yeah, I'm going to do the Janis Joplin one. What's happening in this song, interestingly, is she's first playing the song in G. Okay, so she's using G, C, and D, and she goes through a verse and a chorus using G, C, and D as the chords, but then she modulates it up, so that means she's playing the same thing but higher. So she moves up a whole step to A, D, and E instead of G, C, and D, right? So it's the same pattern of chords, it's just higher. And it's a common technique that artists use to kind of increase the intensity of the song a little bit as they're going along. So they're playing it in one key and then they go up and they play it in another one. And there's a lot of songs that do that. Okay, so let's do Janis Joplin here. Oh, I forgot to say, there's a part in the middle of the song where she just starts going la 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 la. And when she's doing that part, she's just going back and forth between A and E. So she's not using the pattern in the song anymore. She's just going back and forth between A and E. The other thing with this, it's a little soft in the very beginning, the way they did the recording. And so I have to try to be really soft so you can hear her playing, but then it kind of picks up after that. Okay? All right, so here's Janis Joplin doing Me and Bobby McGee. D. Bobby's gone to diesel down just before the rain. The road is on the way to New Orleans. I pull my harpoon and in my dirty red bandana I'm playing soft while I sing the blues. When she went for slurping times, I'm sitting there, we sang every song that chorus, C. A and E. Back to A. Right now. That's it. That's the rest of the song. That's it. That's the rest of the song. These are great songs that we're learning, and you know, it's just amazing what some of these people have done with these really simple chord progressions, and they've come up with these really awesome songs. So hope you're enjoying these songs. I hope you know them. If you don't, hopefully you're getting exposed to some new good music. So, all right, let's go on to another classic here. This one is Margaritaville, Jimmy Buffett. And this is a song I'm sure you've heard. They play it everywhere all the time. Go to any beach or tiki bar, any beach theme thing, they're going to play Margaritaville, that's for sure. And this one also uses just D, G, and A. Okay, D, G, and A. But the pattern is considerably more complicated here. And so I've got it all laid out here for you. But so there's different patterns that we're going through as we go through the intro, the verse, the chorus, and then there's an interlude. And the interlude is kind of a combination of the verse and the chorus, okay? And then the song ends by playing the intro chords again, okay? So I probably won't go through the whole song, but that's just so you recognize when you do it, that at the very end of the song, they're going back and playing that intro part again, okay? I think that's it with Margaritaville. Let's, for the setup, let's go ahead and play it. G, A. That was the intro. Back for another verse. Chorus. Comes that interlude. D. To A. For another verse and chorus. So, all right, that's Margaritaville. Great song to learn. You know, it's one of those ones when people ask you to play at the beach or something, you can pull it out and play it, and then you can make them sing along, and then, you know, you you know, you can be, what, beach popular or something, I guess. Okay. All right. Last one for this lesson. And this is the one that's got the D minor in it. This song is called 505. It's by the Arctic Monkeys. So something a little more recent in our repertoire. And this is a very easy, simple song, simple chord progression. It's just D minor and E minor. And that's all it is, the whole song. You just go back and forth between D minor and E minor. There's a little organ part at the beginning of the song, but if you listen to it, you'll hear, even in that, they're just switching between D minor and E minor. And eventually the guitar and stuff comes in, but that's all it is. And you can, wait through that little organ part at the beginning and then start in with the D minor and the E minor. Okay? So here we go with the Arctic Monkeys. That's E minor.
I'm going back to 505. If it's a 7-hour flight or a 45-minute drive, in my imagination you're waiting, lying on your side, with your hands between your thighs.
Comes the guitar.
Stop and wait a sec. But when you look at me like that, my darling, what did you expect? I promise still adore you with your hands around my neck. All I did last time I checked. Not shy of a spark. The knife twists like the floor without you, fall short of the mark. Frightened by the light, goes no harsher than the bark. New adventure, such a perfect place to start.
And that just continues for the rest of the song. So not a lot to it, but, a good way to get you switching between E minor and D minor and practicing that D minor formation. All right, that's it for this lesson. Our next lesson, we're going to dive into bar chords. And I mentioned already in the last one that this is a topic that can be kind of tough for people. Bar chords can be challenging, but I'm going to get you through it. They are also an incredibly powerful part of your guitar vocabulary. So I'm going to start off with a little pep talk to get you going. And we're going to spend 2 lessons on bar chords to make sure that you get through this critical part of the course. Once you do, you'll open up a whole new world of playing the guitar. Bar chords are just really, really powerful. So see you next time for that.